Ben Askren has been running around England, okay, creating all sorts of problems for the last 4 or 5 days. And I always look at this a little bit differently. And then I try to bring to you guys my analysis. But why is Ben Askren working? Why is the Ben Askren experiment that didn't work and didn't work and didn't work until it did? Why is it working? And you got to look a little bit deeper. These things don't just happen. Somebody doesn't just make it. Ben Askren isn't just a good fighter just because. He's not just a marketable guy just because. They don't happen. So you got to study why. Athletically, that's usually a little bit easier. Well, here's what he did, and here's how he grew up, and here's the sacrifices he made, and here's the coaches he had, and here's how many years he did. You can kind of break it down. But when you look at it from getting fans interested, a marketability, if you will, a PR standpoint, those things require a little bit more study. And I will tell you, it is 1 in 1,000 times. 1 in 1,000 times, something just works because it works, right? The Diaz brothers would be a perfect example. Their disinterest in certain big fights is what made for really big fights. Their refusal to do certain media led to incredible amounts of media. 1 in 1,000. Other guys, you've got to study and you've got to observe it. I don't know that I fully have the answer to this. Right. Ben works hard. Ben's got a great personality. Ben isn't afraid to speak up. There also seems to be something compelling, and you'll even see this in Hollywood, right? Not everybody is Brad Pitt. Not everybody's this big, beautiful. Sometimes it's the everyman, they call it. The everyman. Kevin James would be a great example, where more guys can just relate to him. MMA, Roy Nelson might be a great example, where he's a regular guy. He looks like a regular guy. He acts like a regular guy. To tie that in, and this is to say Ben isn't a very handsome man. Not what I'm saying here. Here's the example, though. He's just a regular guy. He just says what he's thinking. If he's scared, he'll tell you he's scared. If he's excited, he'll tell you he's excited. He's just a real relatable guy. But here's an example for you. He's going around England, creating all sorts of trouble, okay, with the British people, with the British media, with the British fans. He just did a Q&A. I would highly encourage that you go find it and watch it. Hold that thought. Shootbox. Do you old-time fans, do you guys remember Shootbox back in the day? Then you had the Brazilian top team, and then you had the American top team, and some more teams were opening up. But one of the most fearsome and respected teams ever, right off the top of my head, Shogun, Vanderlei Silva, Anderson Silva. Anderson at that time was just one of the guys, by the way. This is how tough this team was. Anderson was just one of the guys. But Shootbox used to go around, and they had like this mob mentality. When they were in Pride, they would travel in packs. There'd be 10 of them. There'd be 20 of them. They would come into a hotel. They would find an opponent. They would start something with the opponent right there when he's, got a couple of guys. They would just outnumber him and intimidate the hell out of him. And whether that carried over to the competition on Saturday night or whether they handled some kind of guerrilla warfare right there, but that's the way it was. Tie that in, because Ben Askren does the exact opposite. Ben Askren goes to these things, including London, all by himself. No coaches with him, no teammates with him, no entourage, no bodyguards. I mean, even Anderson got to the point where he had bodyguards. Conor McGregor right now has bodyguards. Just to offer you an example. Everywhere he goes by himself. So if somebody wants to surround him and put some kind of mob mentality, some kind of street justice on it, there's Ben all by himself. He's not looking to bully anybody. He's not looking to pick on anybody. I think you guys have to tell me, you're the fans, you're the viewers, you're the ones that have pushed him. But I can tell you it's a very real thing, not just from a living room where you can sit back and observe and judge crowd noise, whether it's a weigh-in, whether it's a Q&A, whether it's a fight. Crowd noise is a very real thing. What a great focus group, but a live crowd. But I can tell you, things like you're watching right here on YouTube, we call this digital, the internet, right? A fancy word for guys that want to look smart. They'll call it digital. It means the internet. But one thing about the internet, and I sit on the other side of it, bringing you guys this video, we can track the numbers exactly. We can do an exact audit. We don't have to guess, like say radio or a Nielsen rating with televisions. We can know exactly how many people watched, what time of day did they watch, what device did they watch on. Was it a laptop, a computer, a smartphone? We can see all of these things. I'll give you some perspective on this. Ben Askren just fought on the same card as John Jones, okay? John Jones that week of media did almost 60% less numbers than Ben Askren. So if both of them have an interview and both of it goes to print. More people were checking out Ben Askren than John Jones, who's the main event, who's great, who's all these wonderful things about John, but he was drawing less than the appeal and the attraction of Ben Askren. I'm also in digital. I see digital numbers. Ben Askren is the top draw right now. Guess what? I'm not just making this video because it's something topical and interesting. I'm making it because you guys are clicking on Ben Askren topics right now. Make sure you study this. I'm studying it. I'm close to the answer. I have my own ideas and my own philosophies and my own guesses. But I don't know for sure. It's one of the hardest things with getting over in this space. There is no recipe. 2 + 2 does not equal 4. There's not certain things that if you do them, you are guaranteed to be a big draw. It doesn't work that way. Everybody's a little bit unique. And as soon as you figure out the rules, times change. One thing you'll learn about marketing in your life, what's true today may not be true tomorrow. What's true today may have failed yesterday. Timing's a real thing. But there's a strategy going on. There is some reason people are drawn and compelled to anything he does, including clicking to watch him on stage at a Q&A in England while he's by himself taking on a crowd. There's a realness and there's an honesty to it. Stay tuned. We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out. We're going to get to the bottom of it. And then guess what we're going to do? We're going to copy him.